What's up guys, Enkiri here. Today I want to talk about starting a home gym. It's something that I decided to do a long time ago because I knew that it would be the best way to help me achieve my fitness goals in the long run. And a lot of people ask me about my home gym setup, and they ask me what sort of equipment that I would recommend for you to purchase for your home gym, especially when you're just trying to get the ball rolling and you're probably working on a tight budget and you want to know what are the most important pieces of equipment for you to purchase initially. The pieces of equipment that are most versatile and that will allow you to accomplish the most things. So today I'm going to cover the 5 essential pieces of gym equipment that you should purchase when starting a home gym. Now these 5 pieces of major equipment are going to allow you to perform the greatest number of exercises to maximize your strength and your muscle gains in the long run, and they're going to allow you to do these things in the safest manner possible, both in terms of personal safety, which is, not hurting yourself, not getting pinned under a bench press or crushed by a squat, but also in terms of not damaging your home, especially the floor in your home. And I actually wrote an article on this very same topic a couple months ago, which is published on my website called the Home Gym Starter Kit, and I'll link that article below in the description in case you'd rather read this piece instead of seeing it in video format. And personally, I first discovered the glory of owning my own personal home gym over a decade ago now. I had been working out for about a year at the time, and I knew that I wanted to keep getting stronger and keep building muscle and eventually reach my own potential. And I decided back then that it didn't make too much sense for me to keep paying gym dues that would in short order exceed the cost of outfitting my own gym and keep wasting my time commuting to and from the gym every day for the next rest of my life when I had a perfectly viable garage right there that could house whatever equipment that I wanted or needed. And with the advent of COVID-19 and the current and ongoing global pandemic, it seems that more and more people beyond the stereotypical garage and basement gym hermits have started to realize the merits of home gym ownership when it comes to both maintaining and maximizing your fitness. Maybe, given the current climate, you simply don't want to take the added risk of visiting the gym multiple times per week, which is fair. Maybe you realize that your gains are tenuous at best when access to necessary equipment becomes cut off, again, by things like the pandemic. But whatever your personal reasons are, there are a myriad of benefits beyond that to home gym ownership. And better still, getting your own home gym started does not have to break the bank. All you really need is a little bit of disposable cash and a little bit of space to stash all of the equipment. In my own case, I spent a good bit of time a decade ago now thinking about what pieces of gym equipment are absolutely essential for someone who's looking to maximize strength and maximize muscular hypertrophy in the long run from the comfort of their very own home gym. And eventually I pulled the trigger on a few major purchases. And since then, I've added plenty of smaller pieces to my home gym, but I did that over time. And that's kind of the natural progression of any valued collection, right? But what I want to focus on today is the starter kit, the home gym starter kit, the essential pieces that are necessary to kind of get the ball rolling and provide the hardcore or future hardcore fitness enthusiasts with the ability to either directly perform or closely mimic in some way pretty much like 90% or so of the effective exercises that they would be able to perform in a well-stocked and well-outfitted gym of their choice. Tweaking and polishing your collection can come later and can come as time passes and as your training style evolves and you figure out the more specific needs that your home gym must have in order to be able to cater to you and your unique goals, especially as you advance as a trainee. But you can't get to that point without covering the broad strokes first. So that is what we'll cover today. First, we'll quickly run through the 5 essential pieces of starter equipment along with the approximate total cost of that equipment using mid-tier price products as samples. And then to finish up, I'll provide a brief sample training program to highlight all of what can be accomplished even when equipment is kept to a minimum and limited solely to the basics. So let's dive right in. You can't train without weights and something to incrementally load them onto, and the standard barbell still remains the most versatile and vital piece of equipment in this regard. And with a little bit of creativity, you can perform pretty much every basic exercise using a traditional barbell. Now, barbells do vary wildly in cost, which is typically reflective of the quality of the bar, but some barbells are also designed for certain more specific tasks, whereas others are designed as general use bars. And for our purposes here, since we're just getting started, we'll want a general use barbell that is economically priced, but also not a piece of shit, which is not necessarily a crossover that's easy to find in that Venn diagram. And fortunately for you guys, I've already done all the legwork here. I've owned shitty barbells, I own high quality barbells, and I own solid economy barbells as well. And focusing on the latter here, I recommend the GOB86 by Troy barbell. Now, this bar can typically be found for anywhere from $100 to $120 depending on what cycle that the moon is in that day, and it has a 600-pound weight capacity per the manufacturer, though I personally have put far more weight on it than that, and it was no worse for wear. But if you treat it properly, which basically means don't fucking just drop it onto pins from anything higher than a couple inches, it will hold up very well to your heavy training, and it will allow you to get strong and put in highly productive training sessions across a variety of exercises. Basically, you can bench with this bar, you can press it overhead, you can squat with it, you can deadlift with it, you can row with it, you can shrug it, and you can even power clean with it, although that is not quite ideal due to slightly subpar sleeve rotation, but it does get the job done there in a pinch. Personally, I've done my heaviest ever wrapped squat of 545 pounds using this barbell, and my heaviest ever deadlift of 585 pounds using this barbell as well, and it's continued on strong for years. For the price and the versatility that this thing provides, coupled with the solid overall quality, starting off with this barbell is a no-brainer for me. And you may graduate from it eventually, or you may want some more specialized or higher quality, higher tier barbells in the future, but this bar is the quintessential starter kit bar. I've been using it for 10 years, and I still do all my squatting, benching, and overhead pressing with this barbell, which is not too freaking bad for $100. As far as weights go, I'm of the mindset that weight is weight, unless you're trying to compete in a high level in powerlifting competition, in which case you'll probably want to train using calibrated plates, or if you're trying to become proficient at the Olympic lifts, in which case bumper plates, rubber bumper plates, which are expensive, would become a necessity. But unless you're doing one of these things, then just take what you can find for as cheap as you can find it. Just make sure that it's going to fit onto your barbell. You can often find 300-pound standard weights that's on sale for a pretty damn good price, and barring that, you can turn to Craigslist or the Facebook Marketplace to see who's trying to get rid of what. Just look around and you will find some good deals eventually. Someone is always trying to get rid of their gym equipment, and you can find some pretty damn good stuff on the cheap if you're patient. I've done that multiple times myself. Now, given the current climate, however, and the increased demand of weights and equipment due to COVID, you might end up being forced to overpay for certain pieces. But in my opinion, it's still worth it to do so simply for the autonomy that you gain by having your own home gym. Regardless, I recommend making sure you get a little bit more weight than you think you'll need at first. You want to be able to grow into your weight set without outgrowing your available weights in the first 6 or 12 months that you're training, and then having your training be hampered as a result of that. Plus, it's more economical to buy 500 pounds of weight in one fell swoop than it is to buy 100 pounds 5 separate times. As such, you're better off purchasing a moderate amount of weight initially, preferably with a set that's on sale if you can find it. Beyond the actual bar and the weights that you'll be lifting, a squat rack is the most essential piece of gym equipment that you can possibly buy. If you're only gonna buy one thing, this should be it. Because here's the thing. It doesn't really matter what your goal is, whether you want to get bigger, get stronger, get more muscular, leaner, faster, improve athleticism, whatever your goal is, you should probably be squatting in some form or fashion at least some of the time. Squats build muscle and they build strength, and they do so more efficiently than pretty much any other exercise. The more muscle you have, the easier it becomes to get lean and stay lean in the long run. Stronger legs increase the ceiling for athletic performance potential dramatically. Stronger legs make the body more resilient overall as well. Heavy axial loading increases bone density. So basically, you should be doing your squats, and the safest way to do so is from within a squat rack. But it goes far beyond that too. Most power racks these days also come with a pull-up bar at the top, and you can also buy additional attachments for them as well, such as dipping handles and even a pulley system. So this means that with this one single piece of equipment, you'll be able to do squats, shrugs, RDLs, pull-ups, chin-ups, overhead presses, push presses, floor presses, dips, inverted rows, lat pull-downs, cable rows, cable curls, triceps push-downs, straight arm pull-downs, regular pull-downs, and probably more shit that I can't even think of right now. But that sounds like a pretty invaluable piece of equipment, doesn't it? Personally, I'm not even a huge fan of the bench press, but still, I can't deny that it's one of the best ways to build raw upper body strength and induce hypertrophy in the pressing muscles. Plus, with there being solid, high quality benches on the market these days in that sub $100 price range, there really is no reason not to include this piece of equipment in your home gym starter kit if you're serious about getting strong, getting swole, and maximizing your long-term results in the gym. You don't even need to get one with a rack attached to it because you're already planning on purchasing a squat rack, which means you can just bench inside of the rack. Not only does this give you the added safety of bench pressing with the safeties, but it also keeps the price down, which is always nice. And with this piece of equipment, you'll also be able to perform chest-supported rowing variations for your back, which are an awesome addition to any strength and hypertrophy program. And if you choose to buy one that's adjustable, you'll also be able to perform incline and possibly even decline bench presses as well, in addition to the usual flat bench pressing. In case you haven't heard, deadlifts are kind of a big deal, and no home gym will be complete without some way of being able to safely set the bar down onto the floor without damaging it. But a platform, a lifting platform, offers more than just the ability to deadlift. You can also do your heavy barbell rows from here, along with power cleans, high pulls, lunge variations, and much, much more. Personally, I do pretty much everything on my platform. If I'm not in the rack, then I'm probably on the platform. Now, the only caveat here is that I'm not going to recommend a commercially built platform because for what they are, they tend to be pretty overpriced, or at least they used to be when I was in the market for one. I'm talking, they used to try to sell these things for $1,000 for what's essentially a few sheets of wood with some rubber slapped on top of it. Alternatively, however, and this is the route that I went 10 years ago, was to build my own platform. Now, I think the lumber was a little bit cheaper back then, but either way, it looks like a sheet of standard 4x8 ply is going for about $40 these days at Home Depot. You'll need anywhere from 3 to 5 sheets, depending on whether you want to build a 4x8 platform or a full 8x8 square platform. So that's going to be anywhere from $120 to $200 right there. You'll also need a way to get them back to your house in one piece. If you have a pickup truck, that will come in very handy. They may ship them, but I'm not really sure. In addition to that, you'll also need a sheet of horse stall matting, which is that super thick, super resilient rubber. And that's what you lay down on the sides of the platform where you actually drop the bar. That's gonna run you about $50. Add in some screws, and then we can just round the total cost up to about an even $300 for the 8x8 platform or $220 for the 4x8 platform. In addition to that, there is the personal labor involved in assembling it, but at a time when the cheapest platforms available were $1,000, this was a freaking steal for me, and I was more than happy to build my own. And if there's enough interest, I can write an article. I'd be happy to write an article detailing exactly how I did that. And what I can say here is, I can vouch for this platform using these particular materials and using my blueprint specifically. I've had my platform in my gym for over 10 years now. I built the damn thing in 2009. I've deadlifted nearly 600 pounds on it. I've done clean and jerks on it for years, along with power cleans, power snatches, and high pulls, all of which I drop freely. And I don't hesitate to drop my steel plates onto the damn thing either. I even moved a few years ago, and in order to bring the platform with me, I had to disassemble it. And much to my delight, the plywood on the underside of the rubber mats, after 8 years of heavy use, was still perfectly intact. So I reassembled it at my new place, and it's still going as strong as ever. So for $200 or $300, whatever, and a little bit of labor, a homemade platform is durable as hell and is basically going to last you a lifetime. It'll also guarantee that no damage is ever done to your floor, no matter what lift that you're performing on it. Alternatively, if you don't want to buy a full-blown platform or you're just too damn lazy to build one, you can also just try doubling up on the horse stall mats. Now, that would put about 1.5 inches of solid ass rubber between you and your floor, which might make you feel okay, but I can't really say for sure if that will eventually put your floor at risk from heavy deadlifts or not. It might, but if it doesn't, this would be a substantially cheaper option than either of the other two. And finally, to complete your home gym starter kit, you need to get your hands on some dumbbells. A full rack of dumbbells is obviously not going to be feasible for most home gyms due to space limitations and because they're super fucking pricey. But just buying 1 or 2 or even 3 different pairs of dumbbells is not really going to help you accomplish much in the long run either. You need the adjustability aspect here to really make the best use of these, as that will not only open up your doors and your training to many other exercise options and exercise variety, but it'll also mean that those exercises can be progressed upon incrementally as needed to continually spur adaptation. The best way to accomplish this is with a good old pair of dumbbell handles that you can add the weights that you already own onto. And with dumbbells at your disposal, now you have the option of performing pretty much every single exercise that you could perform with a barbell, but with dumbbells instead. And that means the dumbbell bench press, dumbbell Romanian deadlift, dumbbell overhead press, dumbbell rowing variations, lunge variations, etc. I also like to perform weighted jumps with my dumbbells and even one-arm power snatches, which are one of my personal favorites. Overall though, you'll really only be limited by your creativity now. These are simply going to give you a lot more options in your training, which is very important when you have a home gym, which is already somewhat restricted by nature, as that's going to help you continually inject variety into your routine, which is going to keep motivation and excitement high and help prevent stagnation. So it's a decent upfront investment, yes, but it's still quite reasonable. And the value of this equipment, should you make use of it, far exceeds that upfront cost. And if you take care of this stuff, it will literally last you forever. Look at it this way. The last time that I had a gym membership was back in 2017. I didn't have anywhere to put my equipment at the time, so I needed a membership somewhere. And what I found was a pretty good gym. I was paying $50 a month to be a member there, which is actually quite cheap as far as good gyms go. For example, just to provide some perspective, this gym had literally every single piece of equipment that you could find at a standard CrossFit gym. It had sleds, it had bumper plates, it had good bars, it had good racks, it had tires, it had everything. However, the average monthly cost of a CrossFit gym membership in the United States, $155 per month. So this gym was just as well stocked for literally 1/3 of the cost, meaning that's about as good of a rate as you're ever going to find at a well-stocked gym. And unless you want to work out at Planet Fitness, you should be prepared to budget at least $600 per year, but probably substantially more than that into gym membership fees alone. And even with that rate, if you're lucky enough to find it, you would still recoup your entire investment here in just over 2 years by purchasing your own home gym starter kit. The difference, though, is that you would actually own the equipment. You wouldn't ever have to wait around for pieces of equipment to open up. You wouldn't ever have to smell anyone's BO but your own, and you would save hours and hours each week and the corresponding gas money along with it, commuting to and from the gym that you could now allocate towards more important things like spending time with your wife or spending time with your girlfriend or visiting your mother. And with that very basic training program, you would have pretty much all of your bases covered. in terms of general strength and general hypertrophy work. You wouldn't really be missing out on very much by foregoing your real gym and outfitting your own instead. And whatever specialized equipment that you were sorely missing out on, you could simply purchase as an addendum down the road to make your home gym even more personalized. In the meantime, though, you would be forced to cut out the fluff from your training and really hammer down on the basics instead. And that's part of the beauty of a home gym, in my opinion. That's part of what makes a home gym so damn invaluable in the first place. There's no junk equipment. There's nothing in the place to simply waste time on, and there's nowhere to hide. You either come in and you bust your ass on the productive, staple exercises, or you simply don't bother that day. But then you can't lie to yourself later and go, oh yeah, I got my workout in today and it was a real burner, when all you did was look at the squat rack, say, nope, and then you went and did a bunch of leg extensions instead. That cop-out does not exist in a home gym. And even still, the exercises that I provided in this sample program are really just the tip of the iceberg. Even with this limited equipment, you could modify this program almost indefinitely. It just requires a little bit of know-how and a little bit of ingenuity. And from there, you could add in a little bit of running or swimming or pickup basketball or running stadium stairs or whatever form of movement-based activity that you prefer, and you would have a comprehensive fitness program that will keep you strong, mobile, agile, muscular, and in great overall shape for the foreseeable future. That's really what we're all gunning for anyway, right? And it doesn't take hordes and hordes of fancy, expensive equipment to achieve all this. It really just requires a few pieces of basic but highly essential equipment. The home gym starter kit. Yes, you're sacrificing the ability to have access to a plethora of more specialized equipment and potentially access to high-end equipment as well. But you're also saving an assload of money on gym dues. And you're saving an assload of time in commute time in the long run. It's trade-offs. So go the route that makes the most sense for you in your personal situation. And for an increasing number of people, especially in the pandemic years of 2020 and 2021, the home gym route simply makes the most sense now. So hopefully this guide will help those budding home gym enthusiasts to make the most pragmatic decisions when it comes time for them to outfit their own home gyms. Best of luck to all you guys. And that's all I got for today, guys. Please be sure to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me some love in the comments down below. And if you're interested in online coaching, be sure to shoot me an email at unkiri.elite@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to pass some more information your way. Or simply visit my website, www.unkirielitefitness.com, for more details. Keep training hard, and I'll catch you guys next time.